Over the holidays, I received several Christmas cards from friends, family, and loved ones. But this was the first year I also received a New Year's greeting card from a good friend. Maybe they were trying to be a little different, or maybe they just simply missed the window of the Christmas card. I'm not sure. But either way, I was struck by the message that the card conveyed. In a simple yet powerful statement, the card read, "Dear future, we are ready." I was taken by the confidence in the proclamation. The statement, of course, prompted a great deal of self-reflection and left me wondering if I could make such a bold statement about my personal life. However, when I began to think about this statement and how it applies to American Fork City, I felt more confident in proclaiming, "Dear future, we're ready." Today, I'd like to outline the ways in which we are ready or getting ready for the future. Like many of our neighboring cities, AF is experiencing unprecedented growth. And why wouldn't people want to locate here? We are ideally situated with access to the lake, to the mountains, and a proximity to Salt Lake and Provo-Orem areas. Last year, we issued 795 building permits, the most we've ever issued in a given year. This amounts to about $180 million investment into our community, which means housing, job growth, and entertainment. It also means greater demand on our staff, including our inspectors, but we are committed to improve and expedite our permitting processes without compromising building safety. Some tend to blame outsiders for our huge housing demand, but the truth is most of the people moving in are our own children and grandchildren. That tells me two things. One, we are doing something right as parents, teachers, leaders, businesses, and neighbors if our kids want to come back. And secondly, we are doing something right as a community if American Fork is a desirable location for new generations to move to. Whitney Houston was right when she said, "Children are our future." But before we start patting ourselves on the back for good parenting, we should recognize we still have a lot more work to do. Of course, we can't talk about our youth without mentioning Alpine School District, who play a pivotal role in shaping our children. While there is no substitute for caring, loving, and present parents in the home, Alpine has done tremendous work in fostering healthy, educated, well-rounded kids. In addition to teaching the core subjects, Alpine has taken upon themselves to promote mental health and well-being through programs like Shine Alpine and Aware. We are truly grateful for what they do in readying our children for the future and participating in making our community thrive. American Fork City and the school district work closely to discuss shared resources and common goals. I'd like to think doing this has saved taxpayers money. Through our coordination, the city shares pools and field space, while the district shares auditoriums and gym space. And through our new Communities That Care program, the city and school district are collaborating like never before. Communities That Care, or CTC, is a national program that uses data and community involvement to target issues specific to our community. Youth who come from towns with CTC programs are 33% less likely to initiate cigarette use, 32% less likely to initiate alcohol use, and 25% less likely to initiate delinquent behavior. The CTC is a co-op between the city, schools, businesses, and the residents. It is people volunteering time to solve challenges specific to American Fork. I thank everyone who is participating in our CTC program and invite others interested to get involved by reaching out to our CTC coordinator. The only way our youth will be ready for the future is if we are willing to teach them, and the only way to teach them is if we are ready ourselves. Probably the best lesson we can all learn is how to serve. we have examples in our town and our community that we should follow. This last year, American Fork recognized Chuck Goodwin and Brian, better known as Bucket Parker, who have given over 30 years coaching youth baseball. Then there's Larry and Veda Hunter, who helped those displaced by the Paradise Fire in California by donating their fifth wheel trailer and gathering supplies to fill another 5 trailers, all of which were sent to California. I have seen many great acts of kindness during my time as mayor, but I also know that countless other acts of kindness I haven't seen take place by good men and women that live around us. People choose to serve one another, will do more to prepare us for the future than any program, utility, or amenity can do. As I reflected on how we can ready our community for the future, I was reminded of something I mentioned when I started my term as mayor, which I think is worth revisiting. It is that we live in a great community with great people, but it's myopic to think that the only way to maintain our quality of life is not to grow. Closing the doors to growth will cut us off from the better things to come. We need to think higher than that and realize if we work together to be a strong, unified, and involved community, that we will maintain our identity as growth occurs. In fact, our identity will be transmitted to all who come in. Growth is inevitable. Change is inevitable. It is up to us to determine how to best guide that growth and change so it benefits the community, preserves our character, maintains our quality of life while still giving future generations opportunities to live, work, and play around us. Another way we are getting ready for the future is by building a team of great city employees that have forward-thinking attitudes. As a municipality, we differ in a way from a regular business or corporation like yours. Cities can't measure success by profit margins or counting the number of goods sold. But one measuring stick we do have in common with businesses is that of customer service. For cities and businesses alike, we are only as good as our employees. I want to tell you we have great employees in American Fork City. They work, they serve, they volunteer, and they go to the extra mile. By no means are we perfect, but for a group of people who work inside a community fishbowl to be judged of everyone, they are incredible. We are always striving to be better, which I think as an organization, our attitude is what it should be. Willing to accomplish even more and always looking for ways to improve. In that sense, our employees are ready for the future. We have a strong, independent, free-thinking community, but we also are respectful, thoughtful, and understanding. From this tapestry, we have pulled some of the very best to be city council members. I am honored to work alongside council members Christy Hansen, Shelton, Barnes, Carroll, and Taylor. They are willing to tackle complex issues, not because it's easy, but because it's right. They work well together. You have to be glutton for punishment to be on the city council. And you guys know that. No matter what decision you make, there will always be a group that disagrees. And they will let you know it. But I promise you, in spite of this, our city council is always serving the best interests of the community. Whether council members, business owners, city staff, volunteers, or residents, we are all pulling the same wagon forward. So let's work together, share the load, and make sure we are pulling towards the future. In addition to readying our people for the future, we of course need to be readying our physical space. Last year, you approved the construction of a new fire station in the northeast portion of town and property in the south part of town. for a future station. Thank you so much for approving this critical need. We are currently securing the location for the station and hope to send a request for qualifications in the next month for design work. Building the second fire station cannot come soon enough. The transport numbers have come in for 2019, and we have retained our title as the busiest fire station in Utah County. Last year, we handled 3,910 calls, which is 728 more than the previous year, 2018. Not to be outdone, our police have also done more with less, and development has stretched them. While they need to grow, I am always amazed at how effective our police department is at leveraging grants and other resources to get work done. We are excited for some other key transportation projects that will prepare us for the future. In order to reduce congestion, we need more and better connectivity. Connectivity like what the Canal Boulevard will provide by serving a major east-west connection through Northern American Fork. The Canal Boulevard will reduce the traffic that comes down State Street. Another key east-west link will be connecting 700 North between 100 East and 200 East. Thanks to MAG funding, we can begin design work for this critical road, which will have a signal on 100 East and a grade downhill that will be less steep than 600 North by the Star Mill. I think if you've been up that hill, you all know what that road is like. Additionally, we are working with UDOT on the Vineyard Collector, from which construction has already begun in Vineyard City. That road will be vital to supplement the congestion I-15 and State Street is in on our town. While we keep building roads and improving connectivity, we also need to be looking at public transit. This is another element we are planning for, knowing it will be an essential infrastructure in the near future. While it's wonderful to have I-15 in our community, as many of you have observed, it acts as a literal barrier between between development on north and the south side of our city. Currently, the Front Runner station is like an island from which you can see but not reach. And you cannot reach the mainland that is our Meadows Shopping Center. With the TOD and other growth coming, we know the south side will eventually be its own mainland, which makes connecting our two sides all the more important. For this reason, we are excited to have MAG fund a study for a public transit circulator that will carry people between the Front Runner station and our business district in town. This study will be the first official document stating the need for better mass transit in our community and the first step in working with UDOT and UTA to make a transit circulator and even another overpass a reality. With park funds, and when I say park, it's P-A-R-C, we have made great strides in readying our recreational and cultural spaces for the future. To date, park funds have provided $4 million in arts and recreational opportunities. With this money, the community has enjoyed more plays and more playgrounds. We have enjoyed performances by the Alpine Community Theater, the Timpanogos Arts Foundation, and Fork Fest by the Harrington Center for the Arts. We have completed playgrounds, parking lots, and pavilions. Most notably, we will finish the Art Dye Park this spring thanks to park funds. We are incredibly grateful to our community for approving the park funds, which have been a tremendous boon to the American Fork city's quality of life. If we want to be ready for the future, we'll need businesses that provide important services and are invested community members. We have wonderful businesses in our city and are continually adding more every year. Some notable business to announce is the Amazon delivery station, Built Bar, which will locate in the former Twin Labs building on North Utah Valley Drive. And I'm pleased to announce that Woodbury has begun construction of a Class A office tower that will be 5 stories, approximately 1,555,000 square feet, and located near 500 East. And I have seen the rendition of this building, and it will be one of the more beautiful buildings that you'll notice along the entire northern Wasatch Front. This will only add to the terrific businesses we're already enjoying. I thank our businesses that locate here, serve our residents, and invest in our community. Your presence improves us all and help provide the ever-changing needs of a growing and dynamic city. The last way we are readying ourselves for the future is in our infrastructure. Managing what goes under the ground is some of the most important aspects of what a city does. Yet it's one of the least sexy ways of spending a dollar. What I mean is it's important but often not seen. Nonetheless, we are committed to improving and updating our critical infrastructure. We are working to update our road plan to show residents what's been accomplished and what it will take to improve the remaining network. We have some major water lines that need to be installed or updated that we are planning for, and as a development occurs. We make sure they cover their own water by adding water rights to the city's portfolio. We have also had tremendous success with our sewer slip lining program, such that we have been able to hold off increasing TSSD rates, or some know it as the sewer plant, for our residents. We have made great strides in our infrastructure and are planning for the future. I'd like to spend a couple minutes about fiber in our community and why this is an issue worthy of our attention. Fiber really is the new utility. Connectivity is the first thing developers ask about when deciding where to build, even before impact fees, permitting costs, or parking requirements. In addition to general demands for internet, fiber will be essential for future needs like 5G and can be used for other services like education, healthcare, telecommuting, and emergency response. Additionally, AF has a number of assets that give us an advantage when it comes to providing fiber. We already have a network operating center, or we call the NOC, and we already own fiber. We are the only city that owns fiber along the I-15 corridor. Rather than let these assets go unused or sell them off for a fraction of their value, we are investigating a plan that could utilize them and benefit the city, the residents, and even other communities. While demand for internet is vital everywhere in AF, supply is not. Yes, there are already internet service providers and companies that provide fiber. A few cities have used their model, and that is a possibility we are exploring as well. But we want to make sure we are not signing a deal that leaves the city with all the benefits and our residents and businesses with all the risk. Our community deserves all the essential infrastructure expected in this day and age, and it's our job to work out the most responsible way to provide it. The city has a big undertaking in preparing for the future. In addition to preparing our residents, we need to look at what goes over and under the ground and ensure that it's ready for the future as well. And while we may not have everything fixed, we have a plan and we are committed to accomplishing them. Our council and staff are willing to forego the short-term gain for the long-term solution. If you find yourself hopping on the freeway at 1600 North in Orem or near the roller mills in Lehigh, if you're able to see our large American flag at the cemetery, our great flag is an indication of where home is. There is something unifying about being able to see the flag from anywhere. I'd like to think the flag has been a unifying symbol for our community. Before we were ever American Fork, We were American fort. In my mind's eye, that fort had an American flag also, with far fewer stars. Hoisted up on its wall, a beacon of home and safety for the pioneers. At the bottom of our flag today, we have the Statue of Responsibility as designed by Gary Lee Price, an object memorializing our duties to share the American values of hard work, equality, independence, and justice with others and carry them into the future. Gandhi said, "The future depends on what we do today," close quote. Whether it's our people, our place, or our infrastructure, we are preparing for what lies ahead by making good decisions now. We are striving to live up by the values we want to teach our children, so when they grow up, they can then carry them forward. If we can create a unified vision for our great city, we can stand with confidence and say, "Dear future, we are ready." Thank you.